We're going to go inside the boot here, the trunk. So let's take a look, and it is literally a museum. I mean, it's amazing. You mentioned earlier, when talking about the radios, that these were, of course, valve transmitters. They basically have valve tubes in there, and they would have had to heat up, of course, to allow the transmission.
Well, about 90% of what's in the trunk here was Don's personal equipment, and the nightsticks, the SAP gloves. SAP is a lead-filled device or gloves that were used to bring your point across, you might say. When we show the car, and I tell the teenagers they are attention getters, and then the nightsticks over here, we call those attitude adjusters. The real weapons we have at home, these are blue guns, which are like training weapons. They're plastic, no moving parts. We have shown this on high school campuses, and they're not real crazy about bringing live ammo or weapons on board, and we appreciate that. Some of these iptems down in here he had in the console, replacement bags of the Bull Durham, like I said, the whistles, the handcuffs, no-dos to stay awake, basically a caffeine fix before the Red Bull. The chapstick is unusual. It comes in a small round tin as opposed to the tube that everyone's familiar with. The mirrored sunglasses, which were basically intimidation glasses. Couldn't let them see your eyes. The light, I've had a number of people say my dad had a light like that. I remember that. So we've got magazines from 1959 that he had that shows you how to soup up the cars. We've got 16-ounce pop-top Ole beer cans. We just tell people we took that away from a teenager, made him spill it out. Down in the side over here, we have a Hills Brothers coffee can. It's been sitting in that location since 1962. And the reason I know that is you got a flat tire repair in there, wrapped in a 1962 newspaper to keep it from rattling. Railroad flares, the style that have the big nail on the end that used to for sticking in the pavement or into a telephone pole or guardrail. An assortment of his gun belts. We have none of this ammunition is live, but we have all the pertinent ammunition for the weapons that he used. They started out with a .22, which is not very adequate, but they carried that for a short time. It was a Smith & Wesson with a 6-inch barrel. They went to a .38 Special with a 2-inch barrel, and then later to the Highway Patrolman, which was a Smith & Wesson 357. Don also had a model 1911 Colt 45. I have that weapon, and I also have the box that Colt mailed him the weapon in I believe 1951. So it makes it quite unique. The badges, this is a City of Portland badge. These were a number of, well, there's a paperweight, there's a belt buckle, there's the different shields, but this was Don's first badge, and that was with the City of Portland. And then we have a commemorative badge here next to his retirement badge that the Multnomah County Sheriffs gave me about 3 months ago, which commemorates their 150th year of existence. That was in 2004. These actually are older than the car, but they're some real unique individuals. Like I said, we are now getting items from other sources, and there was a gentleman that had mugshots. These actually go back to 1926, and there's some real interesting characters on here. And we find that they're quite entertaining to the people that look at the car. Okay. This is another item. This was just given to me recently, which has to do with the authority to run the radios. Now here's a couple photos. These go back into 1953, and we're in the process of trying to identify these individuals. These are all reservists. The ones out of uniform were serving a probationary period, I think was around 6 months. And we've been quite fortunate in that we have the majority of these individuals identified. This photo here is of Don, who's in the center, and this is a Firestone Cruiser bicycle, really quite unique. And some of the individuals that he served with. But this was a bicycle safety program that they conducted.
And this is according to the notation at the bottom here, this is April 15th, 1953.
Yeah. We've shown the car in 08. We showed it about 17 times. Very well received. This summer I took the car to Bismarck, North Dakota for a car show. It wasn't a competitive show, it was just a show and shine. They figured about 600 cars. We got rained and snowed out. The western part of the state that weekend had 4 inches of snow on the interstate in the 5th of June. So we weren't able to do that show, but we showed it in Spokane on the way back. And it's funny because people at North Bonneville, when we showed it here, recognized it from North Dakota.
Well, Nick has got an interesting story briefly about the Red Cross, because Nick is a unique individual along with many of other people around the United States, because Nick gives blood. So just fill us in real brief on what you do with the Red Cross in that department.
Well, I'm a supporter financially and on as far as the donations as well. I donated 14 gallons of whole blood, was encouraged to get involved in their apheresis program for platelets, and I've just made my 66 gallons, so combined that's 80 gallons of blood product. I tell people I used to be 6'5", and they have sucked me down to this. So.
Well, that's definitely interesting. Well, Nick, again, thank you very much for coming by to SIRENNET and showing us the car today. I really appreciate it. I know that our viewers will appreciate seeing a vehicle of this vintage and tremendous history. And again, to all of the reservists out there, they're doing a tremendous job. They continue to do tremendous jobs. In fact, in many cases, police agencies, sheriff's departments, and other forms of emergency services could not function if it wasn't for reservists or volunteers, irrespective of where they are in the world.
That's true.
So again, it's a shout out for all of you guys and gals out there. But a great car and a great man to bring it to us here at SIRENNET.com. I'm Stuart, and you've been watching SIRENNET Television.